I'm Adam Biggers, and I'm here with Mott Bears head coach Steve Schmidt. Steve, close game tonight. It looked sloppy at times, slugfest, but it was a kind of fast-paced game I think a lot of us come to expect when you guys play Lansing, big rival. Obviously, these ones against the Stars mean probably a little bit more to you. Can you just tell me your assessment? Still early in the season, but Lansing always a test.
And I knew it was. I told our guys that because of the rivalry, Mike Ingram's been there for 28 seasons. This is year 28. This is year 27 for me, and we coached together, 29, 30 years ago. They're great games. They're very hard-fought, competitive. For an early season game, it was somewhat sloppy, not necessarily from a turnover standpoint, but I thought our guys early in the game were looking to score. We're looking to get their numbers. It's a kind of a young player mindset mentality where you think if you score more, you're going to play more. But what they got to realize, if they get some steals, take a charge, help defense, they're going to play more. Because it's not all about scoring. So we got to buy into the system that I'm trying to implement. We have 4 guys that have played in our system last year. We got the rest of them 9 new ones, and it takes a little bit of time. But I'm really pleased that down the stretch we executed. We competed, we knocked down shots, and I think the fans for this early in the season, capacity crowd here at Mott, I think they saw a great college basketball game. And, I knew it was going to be good. I know the rematch when we go to Lansing is going to be good. I love these games. I grew up in Lansing. A lot of my family and friends are still in Lansing. But the Flint crowd, and I told my players, I said, guys, these guys know basketball. This crowd knows basketball. They know good basketball. And that's why I schedule these kind of games. That's why I'm scheduling this year. We're playing Owens, home and home. They're a good program out of Ohio. We got a lot of basketball ahead of us, and we're getting better. We did take a stumble early, and it was more, honestly, I think it was more mentally. Our guys not buying in. They were great in the preseason, but once they started counting and keeping score, people kind of changed. So I think we're getting back on track right now. I really like this team. They got good chemistry. They're allowing me to coach them. We got to get in better shape, though. We got to get in better condition, and I think we had some great moves today where we fell short of making the shot. The move was great, right to the basket. Good players. I told them, I said, hey, those aren't bad shots. We just got to finish them, but you got to get yourself in better shape. So, that's what we're going to focus on until the next one. But great win tonight, great rivalry game.
Speaking of moves, I think it was Marcus. You were yelling at it. You're yelling toward him. Marcus, that was a good move. That was a good move. He didn't end up scoring the shot, but you could see it with the player when you say the good moves. You could definitely see it tonight. Henry Spate, big for you guys tonight. Rebounds, I think he had about 10, 11 rebounds of 18 points. What does he add for you guys?
He's a matchup nightmare. Kind of a double-double machine. First game he had 36 points on 14 of 17 shooting, including 4 of 5 threes. Today he was 3 of 5 from 3, or 3 of 3 from 3. So he's a tough matchup for a bigger guy to guard him, and for a smaller player, he's too strong, too powerful, and very skilled player. I'm going to continue to work with him to get his conditioning going. But man, is he a tough matchup.
Got a lot of Terrence Sewell tonight too, and last year, just talking to you a little bit ago, he was in Texas, ends up coming home to Michigan. He's playing at Mott. What does he give for you guys, not other than the obvious, scoring touch and athleticism?
Well, I think he's our best defender too, besides Darwin Weiss now. Now, Darwin's a small guy that changed his complexion of the game. They both played at Detroit Northwestern High School. I went to look at Terrence, who's an all-city player, his senior year, to recruit him, and me and Carl Jones, my assistant, went, and Darwin kind of looked like there were 6, 7 guys on the floor. He was all over the place, like he was tonight at times. And I went back to another game, and I liked Terrence, but Darwin really stuck out in my mind. And then Terrence ended up going to a JUCO, Ranger College down in Texas. And then he contacted me after the year and wanted to come closer to home. His family was all here today. He's getting a lot of minutes for us. He's one guy that once he gets in better shape, because he didn't play a lot this summer. He was trying to figure out what he was going to do and all that. But man, I think he's our best defender outside of Darwin, but he can guard a number of positions. And he's scoring a lot of points for us too. But we got some other guys that are talented that just haven't, got as comfortable as they need to get. And that's what's great about it is I got a lot of depth. I'm struggling getting guys minutes. I'm struggling getting a lot of guys minutes. And what I'm going to have to sell them on is, hey, you got to get your minutes in practice. These are your games getting us ready. And I thought we did a great job in the last 2 minutes, where that game could have gone either way. And they listened to me at timeouts, and we executed. And it's early November, mid-November. Our best basketball is way ahead of us.
And speaking of Darwin, I mean, going back to last year, I mean, no surprise, weren't a mainstay on defense. Extremely quick. I mean, the guards tonight, Darwin did a great job pushing the tempo. Sean did a great job pushing the tempo too. You got a little bit out of Blake. It looks like Blake maybe came in to slow it down a little bit for you guys. But I mean, all the guards tonight did their part as well.
Well, Blake Williams he's a tremendous talent too. Handling that ball. He makes probably of our point guards, which I think is a strong position, a depth for us. He makes great basketball, just instinctive positions. And I got to figure out ways to play him more. The one thing, and we've talked to him about it, but it's his motor, how hard he plays defense. He's got to change that. And he's been told that throughout his career. He was an all-city kid in the city of Memphis. I took him on a phone call because we had some success in 2012 with Darryl Boo Marshall and Walter Davis out of Memphis. So he's going to be a good player. He's had 2 pretty solid games back-to-back. But when it comes down to making decisions, you need somebody to think and make the other players better. Blake's the guy.
And that was something else I was going to ask you. I'm looking at the roster, and not a lot of, especially up here, not a lot of guys are recruiting to the links that you do, Steve. And you've had a little pipeline to Memphis with, I remember Robert Littlejohn,
yep,
Walt Davis, Boo Marshall, and now again, what is it about Memphis players that you like so much? So much, in fact, that you took this kid just on a phone call.
Well, I took him on a phone call, but he also, in blind faith, did his research and took a chance on me. And I asked him when he came up here, I said, what'd they say about me? And he kind of says, they said you're old school, you're demanding of your players. I said, they got that right. They got that right. They told you right. I stress accountability, so it's an adjustment for him. But man, I love his skill level. We just get his motor going. I like the Saginaw pipeline I got now too with Eddie Thigpen and Henry Spate, and their coach has been to both games at home so far. They can bring a lot of people to support us. Jordan Rowland, our Beecher, he's a winner. His best basketball's ahead of us. Dwayne Allen's had some good moments. He didn't play a lot tonight, but he shoots the ball well. And I think he got about 4 or 5 shots up in 3-4 minutes. He didn't make any, but that's okay. And we're working on him to become a complete player. Just a lot of depth, and hopefully they'll stay out of my Schmidt house or dog house or whatever you want to call it. And even if they do get in there, Marcus Cole's a talented player, but very emotional. We got to just get him to stay focused. And he struggled at the start of the year, but he's going to be there when it all is said and done. I have confidence in Marcus, but love this team. Even though we've lost a couple early, I didn't panic. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to work harder myself, and that was an exciting game for the middle of November. That was a really exciting college basketball game.
Most definitely. I mean, it reminds, I've seen a few Mott Lansing games over the years, and reminds me, tough one, years back during the Thanksgiving tournament down there in Lansing. I think I've mentioned that game to you every time you play Lansing, but definitely what we come to expect between Mott and the Stars. Steve, my final question for you right now, 4 games into the season, what do you like best about this team? What does this team need to work most on?
Well, I think conditioning. We got to do a better job with our conditioning and being more disciplined when we run our offense and defenses. I'm giving them a lot of freedom, but we got to become more disciplined. And I still let them use their abilities, their talents. We'll with Henry Spate, he's going to be such a tough matchup for other teams. So we got to utilize what he does best. What I like best about the team, though, to be honest with you, is they're making our job as coaches a lot easier than the last 3-4 years have been. There's very few distractions, if any, off the court. They like each other. There's good chemistry. They stay in the gym after practice and work on their game. Which last year I blew the whistle. Practice was over and people just sprinted out of there. They didn't work on their game. They didn't get better. I think this team's going to get better because these guys actually they work at it. They work at it. They're letting us coach them, and that's what I like best about this team. I'm enjoying this first part of the year so much more than I enjoyed the entire year last year. Now, that didn't mean I didn't enjoy coaching Diondre Wilson, who was a first-team All-American, and I don't know if you saw this. He played for NJIT against Lafayette the other night, had 20 points in 24 minutes, 3 for 4 from the three-point line, 3 for 4 from the line. And the thing I noticed, and I was watching it on an iPhone, I was during the Michigan State Duke game, and I was, as good a game as that was, I was watching the phone and watching Diondre, and I talked to him today by text and says, I'm proud of how you played defense. Everything that I was pushing for him to do last year, I saw this year. He's actually a very good defensive player. He runs a team. I'm proud of that young man.
And on a side note, NJIT on the kind of on the ascent, joining the Atlantic Sun now and getting a little bit more recognition over the past couple of years. I remember, I think it was about 3 years ago, they went in and beat Michigan in Ann Arbor. So
yeah, they made that transition up to D1. Now they're in the Atlantic Sun, which has 4 Florida schools that DeAndre will get to go home and play: Jacksonville, North Florida, Gulf Coast, and I think Stetson, but I'm not sure if they're the 4th one. And they're building. They had a brand new $1 million facility. It was beautiful, and he's in a good spot. His first game he struggled. I watched that one too. Or we were actually coming back from our road game in Benton Harbor, so I was watching it on a simulcast, stats. He struggled, played 12 minutes. He bounced back and led their team in scoring, and just really looks good. It looks like I wish he would have played that defense here, but I think it was all part of the process. I think he bought in and knew what he needed to do at that next level. So this is a process with this young team too, but we're heading in the right direction.
Well, Steve, another year of Mott basketball, another talented team. Looks very quick. You mentioned Darwin; he's going to be a guy to watch. Henry Spade, of course, another guy to watch too. So looking forward to a successful season for Mott Bears. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you, Adam.